Most people with 20 years of experience still haven't made their first dollar online. And in the next 60 seconds, I'm going to give you the exact AI prompt that changes that. Not because you need to learn anything new, but because you've been sitting on the answer your entire career. If you're new here, I'm Tracy. I help people, especially over 50, use AI and digital marketing to build a real income online from their expertise because you've spent your whole life building that career. Let's use it. If that sounds like somewhere you're headed or something that you're interested in, subscribe. I was literally taught to type on a typewriter in school. That was the big tech they were preparing us for. Yeah. And now I'm building AI agents and agents that run my marketing systems from scratch. So when I tell you that you can use AI to make your first dollar online from what you already know, I mean it. And I just want you to know if I can make a big leap from typewriters to agentic agents, you can make a much smaller one. Here's what I see happening all the time: people with decades of real experience, real expertise, project managers, HR directors, tradespeople, healthcare workers, accountants, teachers, they are holding back from going online and sharing their expertise. And they're have some blockers. They're waiting till their website is perfect, or they're spending months figuring out social media before even making an offer, or trying to build out a full course before they've checked if anyone really wants it. And it's almost like everyone's convinced themselves they need a big following, they need their brand, they need the funnel, the logo before they can do anything. Reading and planning and preparing, but not doing. When you already have the most valuable thing anyone can sell online: proven, paid, real world expertise. You've been doing something for 20, 25, 30 years that people would pay to learn from or get help with. And instead of monetizing that, you're trying to learn something completely new. And that's backwards. Before we talk about passive income, before we talk about $10,000 months, let's handle that first dollar. Because if you can't prove to yourself that you can make $1 online from what you know, you're not going to make 10,000. One AI prompt, 60 seconds, uses only what you know. No website required, no funnel, no big tech setup. Just what you've already spent years getting good at. And a clear first step to prove someone will pay for it. So here's the prompt. You can take a screenshot if you like, and let's go through it. The prompt is this: I spent X amount of years, and here's my job title or my career, and 3 types of problems I've solved regularly in that role, and also who I've worked with. If you're feeling stuck or don't want to figure out the problems you've helped solve or the people you have worked with or supportive, upload your resume. It's got all that information in it anyways. I find this works really well though, so that's why I do it this way. You're telling what you've done, how long you've done it for, the types of problems you solve, the people you worked with, and we've got to tell it some constraints. We don't want it to say, well, we need a website, or we want to build something before we validate it. And we don't want it to give us a bunch of ideas because that's just overwhelm. And we don't want to create a course. We don't want to do any of that. We do want it to give us one problem, one sentence positioning, a precise description of the specific person who would pay for this. And then tell us how to test for demand, give us a validation message that we can work with today, and give us pricing logic, not just a number, but why that number makes sense. So we'll just do a couple of demos and then you could try it yourself. 22 years working as an HR director. The problems I solved was I handled difficult employees. I had to, in their conversations, I had to resolve conflicts. People I worked with or supported, small and mid-sized business owners, managers who do not have formal HR training, Okay, so we're just gonna pop it in, got all that other stuff, and this is what it comes back with. And I think this is really true is people don't want to have to fire other people. So people don't want to fire people, and if they do fire people, they want to know they're protected. So right away, this one says they worry about legal exposure, emotional fallout, saying the wrong thing. They will often pay for guidance before the conversation because the cost of getting it wrong is much higher than paying for advice. I'll just go scroll through this. Here's your positioning statement. I help small business owners prepare for difficult employee conversations so they handle them professionally, legally, and without unnecessary conflict. I think that's really good. Tells you who would pay for it. Gives you why you have a competitive edge. Here's your offer, a 45-minute difficult conversation prep call. Okay, let's see what the numbers are. Oh, so they're going to say initial price range, 150 to 300 for the prep call. I think this is really good, why it has a high probability. You're not asking people to learn something new. You're solving a problem that already exists this week for a ton of business owners. Urgent problem, real risk, credible experience. That is the fastest pay to a paid conversation. Okay, I say that's a win. What do you think? I think that's a real good win. I'm so excited about this. I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to try with a construction laborer. 22 years. You don't have a website. You don't have a brand. Let's find out what the clearest buyer would be. Oh, that's nice. Helping contractors set up job sites so crews can start working immediately and stay organized. Okay. Again, go in here and do this. I think you will be very excited about the things that come back. And again, we're not doing passive income or courses, not because you can't do those, but because those take time to build up. I love this. A 22-year laborer understands how work actually happens on a job site. A job site efficiency review. A simple way to test demand. Post in local contractor group, construction Facebook groups, LinkedIn. Pricing logic, 150 for the review. And they give you, 10 workers, $40 an hour, 400 in labor. If your advice saves even 30 minutes, that's 200 in recovered productivity. So try it out. I think you'll be really excited at the results. And I know this works because I did the same thing with the marketing system I've been building. Before I went any further with it, I needed to know, would someone actually pay for this? I couldn't build it out first and then hope. I had to find out first and validate it. And that step changes everything in how you move forward. And this isn't the first time I've talked about this. If you look at past videos, I've also done a series on how to get your business up and running. And one of the big things was validating your idea. I'll link those below in a playlist, and those will take you a deeper dive if you want to kind of understand the concept of building out a business. What the prompt is telling you to do is post one simple question on Facebook in a group to your contacts. Something like, hey, quick question. If you're dealing with this specific problem, would you pay for a 45-minute call with someone who solved this professionally for 20 years? That's it. You don't need 100 people. You need people to say yes to prove the model works. Your goal right now is not income. Your goal is proof. You need to prove to yourself that someone will pay for what you know. That's your first dollar. And once you have that, everything else opens up. So take a screenshot of the prompt, put in your job title, paste in your resume. If the first idea doesn't feel right, ask it for the next one. You don't need 20 ideas. That's just overwhelming and confused. You need one that fits. Then go validate it. Post the question, see who says yes, and drop a comment below. I really want you to tell me what you do and what idea it gave you. Because I know for a lot of you, the hardest part isn't the work. It's trusting yourself enough to try. This is how you start trusting yourself again. Make the first dollar. I find it so exciting. I just think we have all this expertise that we should be sharing, but we should be paid for it as well. And if you're ready to take it further and build a real system around your expertise, I've got more on that right here. And thank you so much for sharing your time with me.